Right, the consequences of bounce back loan fraud. It's starting right now, guys. So I know a lot of people that watch this channel, they have always made comments on how people have, got away with bounce back loan fraud. Chris, everybody's done it. Everybody's took it, spent it on a bloody, extension, bought a new car, and, then they've just got rid of the company. And I've always said, listen, you've got to be patient. Our justice system is slow at the best of times. So I want to talk to you a little bit today about something called compensation orders. And I'm going to talk to you about a few reports that have been published recently on the Insolvency service website. And what we're seeing now is directors are being lumped with things called compensation orders, okay? And they're used against directors of UK limited companies to basically make them pay for wrongdoings. Now, a lot of these now, it's due to bounce back loan fraud. So they've either took too much, they should have claimed 15 grand and they took 50, or they've got the money and they've used it personally, or God forbid, they took a bounce back loan that they weren't entitled to and then they struck the company off. In fact, them last ones I'm talking about, they're the ones who are going to jail. So the reason for these compensation orders, right? They're there to try and recover some money for the public purse and to hold these directors accountable. So I'm just going to go through a few. Okay, right. Croydon director hit with 13-year ban and compensation order. And I'll leave this geezer's name out, but I'll tell you the top and bottom of it. He's been disqualified from being a director for 13 years, and he's been ordered to pay back 50 grand to the public purse, right? This was actually the first one secured by the Insolvency service. Now, what he done, this chap, is in October 2020, he took out the maximum £50,000 and his company was only entitled to take 2,000, okay? So he absolutely ripped the arse out of it. It was, it's clear premeditated fraud. Now, what happened? Once it's been investigated, his company, there was no activity in that bank account up to the point that he claimed the loan. And after that, there was just a few bits and pieces going in and out. But he told the bank that he turned over 200 grand in 2019. Now, remember, if you remember back when you did the bounce back loan applications, you self-certified what your turnover was, which means it was open to abuse from the start. And for those that don't remember, if you was incorporated before 2019, right, you must have used 2019's turnover to claim your bounce back loan, and you could claim 25% of 2019's turnover. If you was incorporated after that, you could estimate your turnover. Now, what this geezer did is he took the 50 grand loan, and then he transferred 40 grand over to himself the day after, right? And the rest he took out in cash. But then what he put in April 2021, he went into liquidation. So he's found an insolvency practitioner and gone, right, I want to go into voluntary liquidation. The insolvency practitioner will have put a conduct report in on this director. It had gone to the insolvency service and they'd have looked at it and gone, right, we're going to go for this guy. Now, they will have tried to recover the funds from this director. And this is why, listen, if you've done wrong, you must comply with the liquidator and you must comply with the insolvency service. This guy has obviously buried his head in his sands, and in an effort to recoup the money, they've gone for a compensation order. Now, my belief is the compensation order is against this guy, and if he doesn't cough up, he's going to be made bankrupt. Now, if this guy has a house, if he has other assets, buy-to-let properties, a bankruptcy is going to cause him huge problems. And I think he's got 5 weeks, he's got 5 weeks to pay this. So I'd be interested to see what the update is on that, and as soon as I get it, I'll be letting you know. Now, I'll give you another one here. There's a chap here, a boss of an Enfield gift company, ordered to repay £43,000. And he's been disqualified for a director for 9 years. So let me just tell you the details of this one. So what this chap did, again, fudged his turnover. He claimed £50,000, and what he was really entitled to was 9 grand, right? But what he actually did this guy actually put the business into liquidation? Just bear with me. Yeah, he then went into liquidation. The insolvency service then started the post-appointment sort of chase. He said that he couldn't pay it. They've gone to court and they've got they've got this compensation order. And his ban started on the 27th of December and it's going to last for 9 years. So not only is he being made personally responsible for this money, but he can no longer run a limited company. So again, I'm going to be keeping a keen eye to what happens to these compensation orders. But the reality is, I think they've got a compensation order because the guy will have something to lose. And if not, he's going to be made bankrupt. So what we've noticed this as well is these compensation orders are coming to people that haven't settled with the insolvency practitioner or the insolvency service. So it's important that you comply with the IP, you comply with any insolvency service investigations. I'm going to end on this one. Director who took out a bounce back loan jailed for 8 months. There doesn't seem to be a month that goes by now that some director isn't getting banged up for bounce back loan fraud. Now this lad, he's been sentenced to 8 months in prison. And basically what he'd done is he applied for 20 grand on a bounce back loan. And what he did, his company was already in financial distress. Now, if you remember, you had to certify that you was not an undertaking in difficulty on the application form. But what this lad did is he overstated the company turnover. He withdrew 19,600 the day after the loan was deposited into his bank account. But this, I believe, is what's got him the jail. Then he dissolved the company. He struck the company off by filing a DSO1 form. Now, what's happened is the insolvency service have basically looked at the dissolved company, and carried out the investigation to the dissolved company, and he's been sent to prison, this chap. 8 months. So anyone out there that's getting advised to strike a company off with a bounce back loan, that's the possible ramifications. Now, the reality is if you try and strike the company off with a bounce back loan now, the bank will just object. But there were hundreds, if not thousands, who did this early doors. Because what happened, if you remember, the quarter after bounce back loans become available, the amount of attempted strike-offs by UK directors went up 743%. Okay? It's not a coincidence, is it? I think there's a lot of people with twitchy bums right now because if you've got the bounce back loan, you've whipped it out personally, you've tried to strike the company off, the reality is they're coming for you. So I hope you found the video useful. I hope you found the video informative. And those people who's been saying people are going to get away with it, it's very clear they're not. There's more to come. Thanks for your time.